Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. And we are going to get into closing out the Bon Scott era of AC/DC. As I realized a few reviews ago that I was nowhere near as close to closing it out as I thought I was. All right, so we are going to start off closing out the AC/DC era with Highway to Hell, the last studio album recorded by AC/DC. And sadly, the album with the least representation when it comes to live material, which I will be talking about over the course of the next few reviews. When it came to AC/DC, the first two albums I owned from AC/DC were Back in Black, which I've already covered, and Highway to Hell. I borrowed them from one of my uncles, his cassettes, which he just kept laying around everywhere like they were forgotten about and unloved, and conveniently they disappeared. Oops. Anyways, I'll teach you not to respect your music, Uncle Matt. Okay, so Highway to Hell. This is, to me, the quintessential Bon Scott era AC/DC album. There is not a song on this album I don't love. There isn't a song on this album I wouldn't play live. There isn't a song on this album that I haven't tried to play live, or I haven't wanted to play live, or I haven't at least performed in karaoke if when at all possible. The album opens up with the title track, Highway to Hell. Man, I played this one live. I've jammed this one. I love this one, man. It's a good tune. Just nice and simple, straight ahead rock and roll, man. Just that little snap on the wrist when you're doing the drums, when you come in at the beginning, it's just all about the snap in the wrist when you're doing that one, man. And funny part about that song really is it really is all guitar, because the bass really and truly honestly doesn't kick in until you get into the chorus. Now, I enjoy playing with a song a little bit and adding a little extra bass in there, but it's AC/DC, so if you're going to add extra bass, you got to add the extra bass in an AC/DC fashion. After that, we're into The Girls Got Rhythm. Believe it or not, to me, this is one of the weakest songs on the album, which says a lot. Great boogie woogie song. You can't help but like this song. There is a small part of me, because this album was recorded in 79, there is a small part of me that honestly wonders if they wanted to put a disco backbeat on this. I think it really kind of would have worked if they'd put the disco backbeat with the drums in there, give it less of a rock beat, make it totally. I think. Sorry, folks. That's because I'm working on a lot of EDM lately, so I got all this disco backbeats or hip hop backbeats in my head and stuff like that. Woo! All right, moving on. Walk All Over You. Oh, this song is just, aside from the music is great, but just the lyrical content, that alpha male rock and roll sex persona that just drips from Bon Scott. The dude was not an attractive dude, but I don't know how many chicks I know regret they never got a chance to get a shot at him. You know what I mean? Like, so many chicks I've heard say that he just reeks of rock and roll and sex, So, and it's because of songs like that. Touch Too Much follows that up. Same idea. She's got the touch too much. Oh, I'm going with that disco thing. Before you guys think blasphemy there, look at how Bond's dressed. There's a little disco flair going on there. That suit, that little gold chain. You know what I'm saying? All right. Beating Around the Bush. That is fun. Beating Around the Bush is just a fun little song. I like the vibe on this one. I like the energy on this one. Everything about this one just kind of cranks it around, man. It's so much fun. Then we get to Shot Down in Flames, which, off the top of my head, is the only song on this album that gets live representation in the Bon Scott era. I will be getting into it on not my next review, but review 333, which I'm doing something a little special for. I will get into it, but it is the only one that appears on that collection of live tracks I'm going to get into. Shot Down in Flames is another good song, man. The rejection, it's a great rejection, man. Shot down in flames. Oh, shot down in flames. Oh, what a shame to be shot down in flames. Great party version of celebrating being shot down in flames, man. It is. It's a great one. Get It Hot. Once again, okay, so I will say that you would think at this point in the album, the sex would be getting a little redundant. All right, a little much, a little like, come on, guys, really? Do we have to keep going on with all the sex on? But it really isn't. It isn't, man. Because each song has its own vibe, its own feel, its own dirtiness. Like Girls Got Rhythm. Like I said, if you put a disco backbeat on it, man, it would have been something else. Walk All Over You's definitely got more of a kind of a Chuck Berry bluesy kind of vibe to it going on, with the little kind of way it goes through and kind of does little scrambles and whatnot in there. Touch Too Much. This one's just kind of got a little bit of a darker edge to it. Beating Around the Bush. Once again, a little more back to that Chuck Berry-ish kind of shuffle and speed throughs and zip arounds and whatnot. Shot Down in Flames, like I said, that's kind of more of just a party song, man. I just gotta Get It Hot. Get It Hot. How would I kind of got more of I almost want to say mechanical kind of vibe to it. Kind of pounding a straight ahead kind of pounding and kind of, for lack of a better description. So, like everything, and there's another one coming up there's a couple more still coming up, and each one's still different. Next up is If You Want Blood, You Got It. This song is definitely an understated song. I totally dig this song. It's one of the 2 songs on this album that the band doesn't play live anywhere near enough. Ever. Do they even play it live? I really don't even know if they play them live. Ever. And they really should. There's just something... It harbors back to Dirty Deeds and TNT and stuff like that. But it's progressed a little bit more than that. That's followed up by Love Hungry Man. Once again, this got a total different vibe to it. This one's kind of got a good grind, man. Like, you could really, I have gone on the dance floor and grinded on this one, man. This one's gotta get up close and personal and just let the chick do her fucking thing while, you're holding her kind of tight from behind, just, oh, yeah. It's a sexy song. And then the album finishes with, I want to arguably say, my favorite AC/DC song. It's definitely in my top 5. Absolutely in my top 5. Most likely in my top 3 of AC/DC songs. And it's one of their 2 slowest songs. I've already covered their slowest song, which would be Ride On. My version of it is on the Dirty Deeds album. This one would be the next one, and it would be Night Prowler. Oh. This song, right from the beginning, where you hear that sharp inhale and exhale, sounds like you're taking a drag off a cigarette out in the back alley right before you throw it. Oh, this song is so dirty and dark and dingy and shadowy and sexy. And this is basically, as far as I'm concerned, Night Prowler is probably one of AC/DC's true masterpieces. It really is. The build-up on it, everything about it, it is by far the most magnificent song on this album. It is. Like, they're musically, all the other songs are fun. All the other songs are playful. All the other songs have some great energy to them, or sexuality, or what. Night Prowler, though, it stands above its own. It is a class of its own. Uh, Night Prowler, the already mentioned Ride On, and For Those About to Rock are probably my three absolute favorite AC/DC songs. Probably my three You Can't Live Without Them songs. And then when you get after that, you know, like my next song after that is DT, and that's because I have a lot of personal connection to it because one of my bands used to play it live all the time, jam it live on stage because it was just a great song to jam out. And then after that, I don't know. I could probably put a bunch of songs up into number 5. Night Prowler is one of the only songs I have always wanted to play live. Oh, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, sorry. For Those About to Rock, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, then DT. That's how that would go. All right. Anyways. And you notice a pattern where a lot of these songs, they're not fast songs. They're not the rockers. They're the blues soaked, or the long, epic-y, the great vibing kind of songs, man. But Night Prowler, by far, is also the best song they could have finished this album off with. If you're one of my regular viewers, you know how much I talk about last song meaning something. This album is built from beginning to end to be beautiful, okay? You also have to remember, this was originally set for vinyl, right? So you got the first 5 tracks, Highway to Hell, Girls Got Rhythm, Walk All Over You, Touch Too Much, and Beating Around the Bush. That finishes out side A. Then you get to side B, and it kicks off right away with Shot Down in Flames. Then you got Get It Hot, If You Want Blood, Love Hungry Man, and finishes out with Night Prowler. It's fucking genius. You could not put together better layouts than this. Like, I mean, they try. Back in Black. Back in Black gets really close to having a genius layout like this. But not quite there. Not quite there. All right, folks. If you have never picked up AC/DC's Highway to Hell, first off, this is also the remaster. Pick up the remaster. Pick it up on vinyl. This is an album you must own. You cannot you cannot call yourself a rock and roll fan and not own Highway to Hell. You can be excused for not owning most of AC/DC's collection, okay? Back in Black is about the only other album, maybe Razor's Edge, that could be classified as you have to own. But Highway to Hell is, to me, the you have to own it album. Without a doubt, you have to own it. You have to learn this album. You have to live this album. You have to play this album, man. Like, you cannot be someone who considers himself a musician in a band if you have not played some AC/DC. Especially off of this album. Anyways, folks, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, or even if you didn't, be nice. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. There is a link below that will take you to Patreon. I'm always playing with my Patreon, so, you know, it'll vary from day to day. I have original music on there. I have original content on there. I don't update it too much. There will be some new stuff definitely coming soon to there. Anyways, yeah, like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications, Patreon, comments, please, comments. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite song off of Highway to Hell? Come on. I want to know what your favorite song off this album is. And other than that, peace, love, take care, shuzbutt, nanu nanu.